It's 8:37 on WMAL. You're listening to Mornings on the Mall with Brian and Larry. Joining us right now, Larry Kudlow of CNBC. You know, he knows a lot about money and the markets and the economy. And I got to ask you, Larry, it was a scary day yesterday as Wall Street dropped 400 points in reaction to the Chinese markets dropping precipitously. They actually had to close. I'm looking right now, and it looks like Shanghai Composite's down 6.8 today. What's going on here?
Well, you know, there are a couple things going on, and I don't want to blame it all on China. I think there's a little too easy to blame it on China, although China is a factor, and it looks like their growth rate is coming down. So, yeah, I'll put China in the mix, but if you allow me, I'll put a couple things in the mix, too.
Please.
One is the U.S. economy right now may be worsening, not bettering, if there's such a word, worsening. And you probably saw the ISM manufacturing, very important report, down below 50 for the second straight month. That is not good. That is simply not good. Also, I think we've talked about this, profits are starting to turn down. Profits are the mother's milk of stocks. They're also the lifeblood of the economy. They had been flat, which, you know, wasn't great. Last quarter, too, they're turning down. That's a bad sign for stocks. That's a bad sign for the economy. And I'll throw one more factor in, and that is the Saudi Arabian-Iranian business.
Yeah.
Are they going to go to war? They may. I don't know. I'm not an expert. We don't have enough evidence. But the Saudis are sending Iran a message, and Iran thinks it can somehow fight back, but I don't think they can. If we had a president in the United States, and we had a real commander-in-chief, that person would really send Iran a message. You know, they would tell Iran to start behaving. Iran is already trying to break some of the restrictions. They're trying to break some of the sanction deals. They're trying to get people, you know, visas to come to the United States. None of that should be allowed. So you've got Middle East blow-ups still out there. Lord knows ISIS is still out there. Lord knows the United States hadn't done anything about that lately.
Yeah.
You've got a weak U.S. economy with profits tailing down. That can't be good. And, yes, you also have a weak China.
All right, so if you are sitting on the sidelines, you would not get in right now. But what if you're in the market? What should you do? Ride it out?
Stay there.
All right.
Stay there.
Easy enough. Well, you know, I have to...
Now, seriously, you've heard me. Look, when we had the corrections not quite a year ago, I think it was last spring, and I gave the same advice. Stay there, because stocks in the long run are going to be your best investment. However, if you keep your cattle ranch, stay on the ranch, don't sell it, this is not necessarily a good time to buy all the grazing lands next door. All right, so you might not want to jump back in just yet.
Okay. All right, so look.
Is that a good metaphor?
I liked it. I thought it was good.
All right, good.
All right, so we got to get to this issue, and I'm not going to beat you up a long time about it. I just need you to be straight with us, because we're seeing all of these stories that say you're right there, that it's all but certain you're going to make a Senate run and going to run for the Senate in
New
Connecticut.
York Post today almost basically endorsed you already.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering, we're your radio pals, we're your radio buddies. You can tell us. It's just between you and me. Are you going to run?
You know, I what I do think is, and because you are great and you have been so good to me down through the years.
You're waffling.
What I said to John Gizzi and some other people, and my pal Charlie Gasparino, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to make a decision before the end of February. We already are putting some machinery in place. That does not mean we've made a final decision, but it does mean that our preparatory work is speeding up. Our preparatory work is speeding up.
Well, that sounds like when people say it's all but certain, it sounds like it's all but certain.
Yeah, though, I come out of the stock market, and there's nothing all but certain in the stock market, so I would add that into your very kind mix. But Something's got to be done
Yeah.
in Connecticut. Something's got to be done with a very weak-kneed, very liberal, very pro-Obama senator who has done great damage to the state of Connecticut and is in the process of doing great damage to the United States. And we have talked about this, and the quotations in some of those articles were very good. I thought they're pretty good articles. It captures my mood. Just give me a couple of weeks. It'll happen before we will make a decision one way or another, without question. I promise you this. We will make a decision before the end of next month. We will.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, Senator-elect Kudlow. Focusing on the national election, you just talked about, wouldn't it be nice to have a commander-in-chief? Wouldn't it be nice to have a president? Yes. Hillary Clinton is running with a big thumbs up to the Obama economy. She's running saying, a heck of a job there, Barack. And you just mentioned the fact that you think that things are worsening, in your words. Investors Business Daily, their New Year's Eve editorial was, let's face it, this is probably one of the worst recoveries in the history of the U.S. economy. Will she be able to run on yay, Barack, and, just elect me, and that Clinton magic will be back just like the 90s?
I don't see how, honestly. I'm surprised watching her or listening to her on the campaign trail. If you're going to go out and tout the Obama recovery, that is a thin reed.
Yeah.
That is a thin reed, by the way, to literally millions of people who have either A, suffered real income losses in the last 5 or 6 years, and B, to all the people who have dropped out of the labor force in the 5 or 6 years. It is the worst recovery since World War II. And from what I gather, she is about to unveil this week a new attack on successful earners, successful investors, and successful corporations. Not helpful, not positive tax reform, not growth measures that would get the United States growing at 4% instead of 2%. She's going to attack them. Now, I'll tell you, that may play in certain precincts that Bernie Sanders is already controlling, but it ain't going to play nationwide. I mean, she's got problems. Number one, foreign policy. I don't know if you saw that devastating Megyn Kelly report last night on Fox. It's a hell of a report about bungling Benghazi.
Oh, yeah.
She is the architect of the Obama foreign policy. That includes Iran. She was the one who started the Iranian negotiations. She was the one who wanted to get Gaddafi out of Libya. And her husband, Bill Clinton, who some of his economic policies I actually liked working with the Republicans in the mid-'90s. Bill Clinton is going to be a big liability. The Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton, his girlfriends, Hillary's slashing and trashing his girlfriends. You know what it is? It's like there's no war on women. Hillary is waging a war on Bill's girlfriends. And if this continues, she's got a big problem because Mr. Trump and others are going to raise that. I mean, right now, I see Hillary in an incredibly tight box that is going to prevent her from really expanding her base and winning this thing. I'm surprised because they're supposed to be so terribly smart over there in Clinton land. And, did I neglect to mention the Clinton Foundation?
No, you brought it up. Look at Kudlow is already on the campaign trail, not just running for his own seat, but running shoulder to shoulder with the Republican nominee for president. Larry Kudlow, it's always good to have you, but we have to leave it there. Thank you so much, sir.